There you have it. So I'm already recording our class. Now, as what I'm saying, the human body started with a cell. And then after a cell, we have yes, Roshana,
Tissues.
tissues. Very good. Tissues. Our human body has like tissues. Very good. And then after tissues, we have Roshana again. Yes, what is that?
Organ.
Organ. Very good. We have organ. Like we have different organs. Will you please give at least one organ of our body? Yes, Amer.
Heart.
Heart. Oh, that's an organ, right? But before that, meron munang cell and then tissue. Saka naging organ. Do you get my point? So you will study that deeply when you are like studying already biology or life sciences. Yes, Ali, I will just give example of another one, organ. Anyone? Just click raise hand if you want to recite. Yes? Aliyah, yes. Give a one more organ. Yes? Hindi ko marinig, Aliyah. Siguro may something wrong with your audio. How about Mia?
Lungs.
Yes, that's correct. Santara?
Kidney.
Yeah. So those are organs. Now, before that, I said there are like, the beginning of everything is a cell. And then there will be like tissues and then organ. After organ class, what is next? Yes, Roshena. Parang ang daming baon ni Roshena ngayon. Roshena, yes.
Organ system.
Yes, after organ, we have system. Okay? Reproductive system, circulatory system, excretory system, nervous system, digestive system. Okay? We have different systems of our body. Okay? So it starts with a cell, then tissue, and then organ. And then the organ will be grouped or classified according to their functions. So definitely we'll have like system of the body. And we have different systems. Okay, now why I'm discussing science? We are in English class because class, I want you to get this idea, this kind of idea that in English we have. Okay, okay. Try to continue the idea. Paragraph or text type. It started with a letter. So it's, in English, it's the same with what we have in science. Anyone? After letter, we have yes, Mia.
Word.
Word. Remember when you were like studying, like when you were in kinder or primary, preparatory, I mean, you are learning letters, right? Learning sound. Ma'am Iris will say, diba? And then you will obey or you will follow. You will say also the sound. That's very important because sound is the first thing that we learn from school. Yung pag-create ng sound. And then of course, ma-identify na natin yung letters. Okay, this is letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's why you are writing from A to Z. How about after words? We have letters, we have words, and then Jaisley, yes?
Sentence.
Yes, you can form now a sentence. Or before that, you can actually form first a phrase. For example, a boy, right? When you were in grade 3, 2, 1, something like that, di ba may mga phrases muna kayo? The little children, the little child. Ganun muna, di ba? Paiksi-iksi muna ganun. I am happy. I'm a happy sentence na pala yun. I mean, you are learning first phrases and then definitely you'll have sentence. That is correct. And then after sentence, Nakikita niyo yung sarili niya. After sentence, raise your hand if you want to answer. After sentence, we will have Diana.
Paragraph.
Paragraph. Very good. Now, why I am discussing this one? Because in English, we need to know that a paragraph is what? We form them because of this kind of organization. We have first the letter, the word, the phrase, or the sentence, and then we have the paragraph. That is why a while ago I asked you to read something about rabies and about Yolanda. That is kind of a paragraph or a text type. Pareho lang yun, class, ha? When you heard about text type or selection, it is referring to a story or, a text type, ulit-ulit, or a selection, katulad ng binasa nyo a while ago. Okay? Do you get my point? Yes? So, that's how we form a paragraph. Definitely, we need to learn first the basic. Now, if you have like treasure here, may treasure kayo dito. Ano yung nakalagay sa treasure nyo? Vocabulary words. That is why we are doing spelling. The teacher will introduce new words. Kung napapansin nyo sa English class, di ba yung ginagawa? Okay, class will have spelling. Actually, yung spelling na yun, yung word na yun, mamimit nyo sa story na babasahin. But what we are trying to do here, that we are introducing new words para madagdagan yung baul ng kayamanan nyo sa utak. Do you get my point? So that during the time that you are already writing your own paragraph, you are going to open your, the treasure box, and then you are going to get those words that you have learned. And then that's the time you can now form a good sentence. Now, we are also discussing grammatical structure, verb, adverb. Because it's not class only that you have plenty or you have, or a rich when it comes to vocabulary words. Pero kailangan, class, you need also to know how to construct sentence properly with proper verb, adjective, adverbs, and all the parts of the speech. Noun, pronoun, interjection, prepositions. Okay? So pag pinagsama-sama yun, you will be a good writer. Why not? You can actually create your own, selection. You can actually create your own song. If you are, musically inclined individual and you are trying to compose something, you can do that. Composing a song like Moira. Moira De La Torre is an artist. And she is like writing her own songs. Why? Because she has this kind of rich vocabulary words in her mind. Tapos i-include pa yung experience niya. Okay? Why Edgar Allan Poe, a writer, a popular writer, can create good stories? Because he is so imaginative and he has a lot of what? Vocabulary words in his mind. Okay? Why there are people who can write good paragraph? Because the same thing, they have also plenty of vocabulary words, and together with experience, they can write. Okay? Let's proceed to journalism, feature writers, news writers. Do you think makakapagsulat ba sila without the knowledge? Definitely not. Okay? That is why it is important that in our English class, you need to be very particular with that. And today, we're focusing in, reading a selection and identifying the purpose of the writer. Why the writer write this kind of a selection? Ano yung purpose niya? Ano yung gusto niyang iparating sa kanyang mambabasa or the readers like us? Okay? So, that is why we're going to proceed there. Okay. Now, I know you already answered this one, but I want to go back here and try to ask you about this one. Write facts about rabies that make you think it is a dangerous disease. Will you please say something about this one? Raise your hand if you want to answer. Rabies is a dangerous disease. Now, write some facts. That is why we also learn about facts and opinion. When I say facts, hindi to class based from your own opinion. It should be based from there's scientific basis or explanation about this thing. Yes, Carl. Yes, Carl. Rabies is a dangerous disease. Now, give me facts. How did you say that? Why did you say so? Yes, Ara? Is it Ara or Hersey? Hersey, rather.
Rabies attacks the central nervous system.
Yes, very good. A hand for that. Applause. So, it attacks the nervous system. Is it good or bad? Bad. Why? Our nervous system, kanina nga nag-aaral tayo about different systems of the body. That is, of course, heart is important, the circulatory system, but the nervous system is the most important because it's central. I mean, the brain controls everything. And what if the brain is affected? The nervous system is affected because of rabies. Definitely, something will happen to you. Okay, what else? Yes, Akiko?
It can cause death.
Louder, I cannot hear that. One more.
It can cause death.
It can. Did you hear that, class? No? One more, Akiko. Louder and clearer, please.
It can cause death.
It can cause death. It means it's fatal. Now, the fact that it can kill people, a person, and it is fatal, is it dangerous? Definitely. Definitely that is dangerous. What else? Let's have Hannah.
Rabies can cause infection to our body.
Yes, it can cause infection. Have you seen someone who is like bitten by a dog and then the rabies is already in his system? Class, kung ano yung action ng dog, nagagaya niya. Okay? Nagiging parang ano din siya. Sorry for the term. Parang nagiging asong ulol din siya. Naglalaway din. Ayaw sa tubig. Tapos parang laging takot, so frightened about so many things. Kahit yung hangin, pag tumatama sa kanya, ayaw niya. That is the severe case for rabies. That is why it is fatal. Now, thank you, class, for giving that answers. And are you convinced now that rabies is a dangerous disease? Convinced? Now, the writer in the selection is telling us that rabies is a dangerous disease. Okay? Now, what is the purpose of the writer? Okay, take a look at this one. The facts you have written made you believe that rabies is a dangerous disease. Am I right? Will you please do this one? Yes, the facts you have written made you believe that rabies is a dangerous disease. And hindi yun galing sa opinion nyo, class. It based from the selection you have read a while ago. Now, it means someone persuades you to believe. Persuade, if you're going to look for the meaning of persuade, it is like convince. Someone convinced you to believe. And the writer of the selection convinced you to believe. Okay? So, the purpose of the paragraph or the selection you have read rather, is to persuade the readers. Okay? Take note of that, class, ha? The red one and the yellow one. Sorry for the spelling, class. It should be persuade. For a while, ayusin ko lang. Okay. Did you get my point? Persuade means convince. So the writer is trying to convince you as a reader, that rabies is a dangerous disease. Do you get my point? Why the writer is trying to convince us? Why is that? Will you please try to recite or to speak? Why do you think the writer is trying to convince us or to persuade us that rabies is a dangerous disease? Yes, Santara?
Because it causes death.
Yes. And it gives us warnings. Now, if we have dogs at home, we need to take care. I mean, we need to take care of ourselves, not to be like beaten by a dog. Do you get my point? Sige nga, anyone, sino dito may aso sa bahay? Do you have? Actually, class, there's nothing wrong naman with like having a pet. Ako nga mahilig ako sa dog. Kaya lang wala ako ngayong dog kasi nasa amin sa Albay. Meron kaming dog doon. Pero dito sa Amadeo wala. Kasi hindi ko siya maaalagaan. Nakakalungkot. Hindi maaalagaan. I mean, I'm busy, right? So, alam nga namang unahin ko pang magpakain ng aso at magpaligo kaysa magturo or pumunta sa school at mag-itulay or something like that. So, syempre, definitely, hindi ko siya maaalagaan. So, hindi muna. But you can actually have that one. And that's nothing wrong with that. Kasi nga ano sila sino mag-agree dito that dogs are like, nakakawala ng stress? Right? Playing with them, it's actually like, we enjoy so much. I know may mga ilan naman dito na don't want to play with dogs. Okay lang yun ha. Gusto naman nila cats or snakes or birds. Snakes or birds. There's nothing wrong with that. Kung ano yung preference ninyo na alagaan, it's up to you. But what I'm saying here is when you are like, taking care of some dogs, you need to take care. Safety measures. Mag-ingat na hindi makagat. Kahit yung mga galang aso sa mga lugar ninyo, take care na hindi kayo makagat. Now, let me ask you, who among you here like already experienced like being beaten by a dog? Already like experienced that one? Not yet? Very nice. O meron yata si Dana tsaka si Abang. Nakagat na ng aso. Yes, Dana, did you experience that? Yes. Sige nga, Dana, will you please say something? Did you get some injections?
Yes, sir.
How many times?
2 times, sir.
2 times. Imagine that, class. If you are like bitten by a dog, kailangan magkaroon ka ng vaccine. May iba nga hindi lang twice, mayroong thrice, mayroong iba 4 na beses. Okay lang kung hindi ka takot sa injections, but how about if you are like, takot ka sa injection, so definitely ma-stress ka pa. Kaya mag-ingat sa mga dogs, okay? That is why the author wrote this kind of selection, that is to persuade, to convince the reader that rabies is a dangerous disease. Do you get my point? Okay, now, for example, you are the writer and you want to convince someone. Ilalagay na natin yung position nyo as a writers. And you want to convince someone and you want to write a selection. Okay? And this one. Pwede kayong class mag-raise ng hand if you want to answer. For a while. Okay. So again, for example, you want to write something and you want to persuade the readers that COVID-19 is a dangerous illness. Okay. Well, alam naman natin dangerous siya, but how are you going to convince your reader? How are you going to convince someone? Or your purpose is to persuade. So paano mo mapapersuade yung reader mo? Okay? Na, oo nga no, pag nabasa niyo yung selection mo ginawa mo, he or she will like say, yeah, the writer is right that COVID-19 is a dangerous illness. So this is the thing that I need to do for me to be like safe from this kind of illness. Okay? Now, anyone? How are you going to convince someone? Take note, your purpose is to persuade them. hikayatin in Tagalog na maniwala sa'yo. Pero hindi mo sila paniniwalain sa mali. Take note, lesson sa ESP, mapanuri. Kailangan tamang impormasyon. Hindi ka pwedeng maggawa ng selection na hindi totoo. It should be correct, based on facts, scientific. So, people will believe because it's scientific. Okay? Yes, Dana.
COVID-19 is a deadly virus.
Yes, a deadly virus. Correct. The word itself, deadly. Hindi pa ba yung convincing na ano siya, dangerous illness? Katulad sa rabies, it's fatal. It's very convincing, right? Who else? Other hand, like, yung iba naman. Angelica, are you there? You want to recite? Miel? Anika? Cassie, you want to say something? Marius? Marius left the group. Left the meeting. Carl is racing. Wow, Carl is very, active today. Very good. I'm glad that you are participating in the class very well today. Yes, Bella, will you please say something, Bella?
Yes, sir.
Say something. How are you going to convince someone that COVID-19 is serious?
I'm gonna convince them by saying that coronavirus is a serious disease that can kill you and bring you to dangerous circumstances.
Okay. Yes, that is correct. So that's a serious, right? Can kill. Do you believe that? How about you? Do you believe that? Yes. Sige nga, class. So far, sige nga, makita ko lang if you are like updated. So far, on average, how many, hindi kailangan eksaktong number ha, how many cases do we have a day as of now? Approximately. Aliyah? Approximately. Hindi kahit hindi sakto. If you are really like updated, kasi we need to be updated. Hindi ko talaga marinig si Aliyah. Siguro nagkakaroon ng kaunting sa kanyang audio. Yes, Eman.
11,028.
Yes, something like that. The number is something like that. Naglalaro siya class from 10 to 15. Imagine that a day. 10,000 to 15,000 a day. And the hospitals cannot accommodate all this all these people. Kaya nga may pila. Alam mo, hindi ka na makahinga, nakapila ka pa kasi nga hindi ka ma-admit. Because there are many people who are like, nauna at kailangan gamutin. So that is very serious. Okay? What else? Percy, will just try to say something. How are you going to convince someone? Your reader, for example, you are the writer and you are writing a selection. How are you going to convince someone or to persuade someone that COVID-19 is a dangerous illness? Yes, Percy? Carl. So let's go first to Carl. Carl, go.
We need to serious in this virus because many
Virus.
people died on this.
Yes. Okay? So dun pa lang by saying many people died or the death continuously rising, COVID-19 spread quickly, sabi ni Eman. That's correct. Pwede kayo mag-type class sa ating chat box if you cannot like say it orally. Like what Eman did. Yeah, COVID-19 spread quickly. Correct. Yes, Jace Lee.
COVID-19 can affect everyone in the environment.
Yes, can affect everyone. Okay. Over 2.85 million died because of COVID-19, according to Kia. Yes. Imagine that number. 2.85 million already died. So, ang dami ng class, definitely. Okay, now, you already know how to convince your reader. So, hindi naman kayo class talaga gagawa ng paragraph ngayon para i-convince sila. But what I'm saying here is, when you are reading a selection, kailangan, we need to know what? The purpose of the writer. Ano ba yung gusto niyang iparating sa kanyang readers? Is it to persuade? Is it to, to narrate only? Or to entertain? Kasi may ganong class story eh. Okay? There are stories na ang purpose niya lang is to entertain. Nakakatawa. And then at the same time, yung plot ng story is fictional. About a story about Cinderella or about Philippine heroes. Di ba fictional yun? At may mga stories about that. And what is the purpose? Definitely to entertain. So isang purpose din yun. Pwede kayong gumawa ng selection that you want to entertain someone. According to Santara, many actors and actors had COVID-19. As of now, yes. And medical practitioners in Cavite. Kaya class hindi makapag-swab kasi nga 30 yata or half of the medical practitioners na magsaswab is merong COVID-19. Bilis kasi siyang makahawa ngayon. Spread quickly, sabi nga ni Eman. Motivate or move readers towards a certain point of view or opinion. The act of trying to persuade automatically implies more than one opinion on the subject. The goal is to have us to take a closer look at our beliefs and the beliefs of others. Yes. So we need to convince them. Convince them why it is like fatal, it is, deadly, so that people will take care of themselves. Kaya, huwag mo nang lalabas. Sophia Chanel, or Sophia, COVID-19 will spread quickly in every member of our family. That is correct. Halimbawa, si Father, Sophia, for example, yung sinasabi ni Sophia sa chat box, working outside and then nagkaroon siya, na-expose siya someone who is like sick and then he has the virus already, definitely can spread the virus sa family. That's why it's a very serious kind of illness. Do not underestimate this kind of disease. Again, do not underestimate. Kaya namin yan, healthy naman kami. Do not underestimate this kind of illness. We need to be very, very serious about this one. Okay, now for your task. Okay, I'll give you now task to do, but you're going to use your book as your reference because we cannot use Mojos or any other references. So here, I know hindi nyo pa nasasagutan to class, but I want you to answer this one. Will you please get your book? Or kung walang book, saka na lang anuhin class kapag nandyan na yung book. Kasi we need to use our books kasi hindi pa natin siya masyadong nagagamit. We need to maximize the use of your books kasi binili nyo yan. Now, will you please go to page 187? Okay, will you please I know you answered already letter A. Am I right? How about B? Yes, also. How about C? Yes. Now, going to the dentist is scary for some children, sabi dito. So how are you going to convince your younger sibling? How are you going to convince him na he needs to go to the dentist? Okay. Although meron na kayong sagot dyan, so we'll not ask for the answers. Tingnan ko na lang yung mga sagot nyo class doon sa inyong ginawa. Now let's proceed to page 189. So ang nakalagay dito class sa challenge is sa page 189, is in a group of 4, choose a topic, then write what you will do and say to persuade the people about it. Organize your talk by filling out the outline. Now, you're not going to have a groupings here. You are going to do it individually. Now, class, you are going to choose from these topics on the right side. Planting trees or planting more trees, saving water, caring for pets, or talking with parents. Now, you're going to write a title, and then you're going to try to persuade someone that planting more trees is important, that saving water is important, caring your pets, and talking with parents. Do you get it? How are you going to persuade someone to encourage them or to convince them that it is important to plant trees, it is important to save water? So you can actually write it in an outline. Why it is important, A and B, dalawa yung sagot. What is happening now? Ngayon, for example, class, you want to choose planting more trees, you're going to ask yourself, what is happening now? So many trees are being cut. So pwedeng ganun yung situation, kaya mo na naisulat yung selection. You're trying to convince. There are floodings because trees are being cut. So yun yung what is happening. So what you can do, alam nyo na kung ano yung gagawin, right? So kasi madalas natin gawin to. So if there's a certain, kind of problem, this kind of problem, what can you do? Okay, you're going to answer that sa book na diretso. And then, ang gagawin nyo, class, kukunan nyo lang siya ng picture, some photograph of what you did, and then send it. Please, send it. Kasi nga, ilalagay ko sa GC kung sino yung di nakapag-send. Now, another, another class is please prepare for this one, and then I call someone to we'll have this kind of performance task soon. Pwede siyang recorded or orally. So you're going to give a short talk on any of these topics. Page 189 also. Explain your ideas well. Halimbawa, use your talents. Go into sports. How are you going to persuade them? Di ba I am encouraging you to use your talents? Pinipersuade ko kayo na huwag niyo itago yung talent niyo. How about you? How are you going to say that to people? Go into sports. How are you going to convince them? Or make your parents proud? Now, prepare for this kasi maybe next meeting, I'm going to call someone to give a short talk. And then your classmate will rate you. Is it very convincing? Convincing enough or needs to be more convincing? So, 4 yung sasabihin yung rating. Bawa, I call someone, for example, tinawag ko kunwari si Toby na siya yung unang mag-speak about a certain topic. Bawa, yung pinili ni Toby is use your talents. And then after speaking, you yourselves will rate her. So, pwede nyo ibigay na rating, very convincing, convincing enough, or needs to be more convincing. 3 lang pala yung class, sorry. Very convincing, convincing enough, or needs to be more convincing. Ang pinakamataas na rating dyan, class, na pwede nyo makuha is 90 and above na rating is kapag very convincing. Middle yung convincing enough. So, pwede siyang mga nasa 85 to 89. And then yung needs to be more convincing, lower than that. Okay? So, you try also to write na, to prepare. Kasi anytime, pwede ko na itong ipagawa. Through recordings, i-record nyo, or through, orally, can be done orally. Do you get it? Any question about the purpose of a writer is to persuade? Any question? None so far? Now, we will continue. So, yung task lang na ina-expect kong maipasa nyo ngayon is yung nasa page 189, yung merong outline. Now, let's continue with the next purpose of the writer. But again, kung meron tayong two purpose lang ngayon na madidiscuss, we are going to we will have several kinds of purpose. Entertain, narrate, enumerate, may mga ganon. May ini-enumerate lang yung writer. Try to research for other purpose of the writer sa pagsusulat ng selection. Now, let's continue with this one. There's a problem, class. Now, try to give the solution. Cases of COVID-19 continuously rising. Now, will you please try to give a solution? Anyone? Yes, Kia?
Follow the protocols and stay at home.
Very good. So that's the best answer so far that we can have. Follow safety protocols and stay at home. Okay? What are the safety protocols? What are the safety protocols? Yes, Sophia?
Social distancing.
Yeah, that's one. Okay? Kaya kung may party, huwag nang pumunta sa party, class. Huwag matigas ang ulo. Kung may mga birthday party, pwede namang mag-party virtually, di ba? Tapos may kanya-kanya kayong dalang pagkain sa harap ng monitor. What else? Yes. Sabi ng mga bata, paano kaya yun? Yes, Percy.
Always wear face mask with patient.
Yes. Class, meron akong kwento. Napicturean ako ng pulis kasi I went out last week. Eh, hindi ko naman alam na kailangan pala pag bibili sa tindahan sa labas, kailangan naka-face shield din. Alam ko naman rather, kaya lang, ang lapit lang kasi ng bahay sa tindahan, siguro mga few steps lang. So, di ba, pag few steps lang, okay lang naka-face mask ka lang, walang face shield. E na-timingan ako may pulis dun sa labas. Ayan, na-picturean ng ang mangmang na. I mean, na-picturean tuloy ako. But anyway, that's the price of that, following certain rules. Kailangan face shield, face mask. Hindi lang face mask ngayon, kailangan face shield, naka-face shield talaga. Yes, Santara.
Wash your hands often with soap and water.
Correct. And laging may alcohol na dala-dala. That's very important. Okay? Now, let's continue. Alam nyo na yung safety protocols when it comes to COVID-19. Nilagay ko lang siya para ma-remind talaga tayo. Now, let's continue this one. During online class, internet connection is poor. So, what is the possible solution that you can do? Other hand naman. Sige, tawag tayo ng iba. Toby, can you say something about this kind of, problem? Those who cannot speak, will you please type your answers sa ating chat box? Toby, will you please say something about this one? The problem is during online class, you are like having difficulty because the connection is poor. Now, what is your solution? Okay, let's call someone. How about Cassie? Are you there? Cassandra? Amika? Amika? Wala pa din. Jester? Jester? Wala pa din. Okay. Let's call Jaisley.
Tell your advisor that your internet connection is poor and you cannot join your online class.
Yes, that's very important. Informing. Although may mga yes, very good. That is why I am telling you always to inform. And you can actually watch the lesson again. Once more, I mean, through the link that I'm going to send, or this is a YouTube, or Pwedeng ganun class. Okay? So, there are solutions naman or ways kung paano natin siya ma-cope even without internet connection. Now, I wasn't able to submit the assigned tasks. That's the problem. So what you can do, I'm happy kasi may iba dito na nagbigay agad ng solution. When I send the list of the names na hindi nakapagpasa, you immediately responded. So I'm glad that you try to respond as fast as you can. Anyone, what can you do if you are like you were not able to submit all the requirements or the assigned task? Amer.
Finish your task and submit it immediately.
Yes. Okay? Or if you are busy and you cannot send it, you can actually inform me, sir, hindi ko masend ngayon. Kasi hindi talaga mag-send sa mahina po yung data. So, pwede kong hintayin kung kailan ka mayroong connection. Okay? That's it. Let's continue. Wala na pala class. Now, why we are, trying to solve a problem here? Because one of the purpose that we are going to discuss is, anyone, any guess? What kind of purpose ang ibibigay ng writer or the purpose of a writer in writing a selection? A while ago, we have to persuade. How about this one? Based from this kind of activity, preliminary activity, what is the purpose of the writer? Parang si Aliyah naka-paste. Nahina yata connection ni Aliyah. Oo nga. Yes, Diana, what is the purpose of the writer?
To persuade.
Yeah, this second activity that we have. Yes, Percy? What is the purpose, Percy? Ay, nawala din si Percy. Jaisley, do you have idea? Yes, Roshana.
To inform the reader.
To inform. Actually, that is also one purpose. To inform. Okay? There are selections that are like informing us. But what else? By just looking at the preliminary activities that we have. Who's racing? Yes, Hersey?
Giving solution to the problem.
Yes, something to do with to give solution. Or, the purpose is, ayan. Will you please look at this one? Nandito siya class sa ating. The purpose is to give solution or simply problem solution. Okay? Again, it can be to give solution to a problem. Pwede yun. Sino to? Samuel Estede. Sino to, class? Samuel St. Ladies. Sino to? May kilala kayong Samuel?
Wala po.
Sino kaya to?
Wala po, sir.
Hindi ko i-accept kasi iba yung niya gamit na account. Anyway, again, the purpose is to give solution to the problem or simply problem solution. Okay? Now, what story will explain this kind of, purpose of a writer that is about the Yolanda tragedy? Yan. Okay, now let's try to answer the following. What was the problem sa ating selection of, to the selection that we have read a while ago about the Yolanda tragedy? What is the problem? What was the problem? Did you read that? What was the problem? Okay, if you're like, nahihiya class to answer orally, will you please type your answers now sa chat box? Babasahin natin. Go. What is the problem? Based from the selection. Kahit short lang yung answer mo na. Go. Will you please type your answers now? So there's a selection entitled The Yolanda Tragedy. That is a kind of text type. And then based on the selection, what was the problem? According to Santara, many people didn't survive. So definitely there's a typhoon. So what happened after the typhoon? That's the real problem. Any other answers, please? Okay. Many houses are destroyed. According to Sophia, very good. The super typhoon Yolanda destroyed buildings, houses, and trees, correct? The typhoon destroyed the people's houses, correct? Okay, so you are actually typing all the problems. Tragedy broke out to the entire world. The typhoon destroyed, okay. What else? What else? Thousands of people weren't able to escape the storm's anger. Super typhoon ruined some islands in our country. Many people lost their houses and many people lost their family and relatives. Okay, people suffered of hunger. Okay, so definitely class, the real problem here, diba, there's a typhoon. It's very strong. The typhoon was very strong, I mean. And you are correct, there are like devastations. It's devastating actually. So, tama kayo, the houses were destroyed, the buildings were destroyed, the farm lots are destroyed, or were destroyed also. Definitely the effect is shortage of food, water, okay? So many people is asking for food to eat, water to drink. They are suffering from like hunger. You're right. Now, we already spot the problem. Hunger, okay? Lack of food, devastation or destroyed like houses. Now, since you already mentioned all these problems, will you please try to give solution? Based from the selection that we have read, what is the solution given? What are the solutions that are given based from the selection that we have read? Okay, according to Santara, Many people donated food, clothes, and fixed houses. Very good. So there are like donation drives. Many people help from one country to other, like people to people. Even, the government to other government. Ano ba, yung Cavite government to Tacloban government, helping each other. Okay, another, some charities gathered supplies and donated to the affected people. Yeah, that's correct. So merong tinatawag class na solidarity. Or in other word, in Filipino term, that is pagkakaisa, pagtutulungan to ease the hardships or the sufferings brought by the typhoon Yolanda to many people in Tacloban. Okay? Now, this is a kind of a problem solution text type. So we can say that this is a problem solution. So we have already two, to persuade and then problem solution. So that is two of the purposes that we can say na ginagamit ng writers, being used by writers in writing a selection, and many more. We will encounter many other, purpose of the writer in writing their selection. You get it? Any questions? None so far. So this will be your activity with regards to this this lesson. Will you please turn your page now or book on page 198? Okay, in that activity, so you're going to read the text and then you're going to write the problem and the solution. Same with letter B. Complete the sentence. This paragraph is a problem solution text because the problem was, the solution was. So you're going to identify the problem and at the same time the solution. Okay, next. Let's proceed to page 200. Page 200. With the whole class, work on the problem of poor attendance. Put your heads together to come up with a solution. Now, as of now, we cannot do groupings. Pero class, we are trying to do to use Zoom if possible. Kasi sa Zoom class, kaya nating mag-groupings doon kasi kaya ko kayong i-divide into different breakout rooms. Kasi dito, hindi natin siya magagawa sa Google Meet. Kaya gagawin niyo muna siya individually. Now, in this kind of activity, you are going to write the causes. Bakit kaya ang isang bata, although hindi nyo naman ginagawa yan when you were having your face-to-face setup, why a child is having poor attendance? What are the causes, the possible causes? And what information do you need? What primary source can you see? And what are the solutions? So saan kayo pwedeng kumuha ng information? That's what we mean by what information do you need? What primary source you can use? Okay? Saan kayo pwedeng magtanong? Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. And the last activity that you're going to do, kasi Aki ko sumagot pa dito sa natin chat box. Many people donated some materials for building their houses. Many help the people in little things like donating foods and clothes. Okay, that's correct. JC give them food and water, clothes to wear, and money for them to use for living. Some charities gathered supplies. Okay. Now, for the last activity, on your notebook, you're going to write a question about the topic that we have, kung may tanong pa kayo class, or a reflection. So, ang magiging basis nyo sa pagsusulat ay yung nasa page 201. But you are going to write a question or a reflection sa ating naging 2 lessons about purpose of a writer to persuade or problem solution. Kung meron pang question, you can write that in your notebook or on your notebook and try to reflect. What did you learn? What did you learn, I mean? What is your question? Pwede nyo ilagay yun sa reflection nyo. You get it? So, notebook. So, ang isasubmit nyo sa akin before 1 p.m. is yung outline. So, yung outline naman, class, ay simple lang naman. Pwede nyo na siyang gawin agad. Yung short talk, pwedeng hindi muna. Okay? And then, yung binigay ko sa inyo sa a problem solution lesson about yung nasa Accelerate, page 198 hanggang
Sir, isasend ko
199.
po yan sa GC.
And then, letter B also. Huwag na magtanong kasi lagi naman ako nagsisend. Minsan nga nagsisend na ako, hindi pa nakikita ng iba. Okay? Now, another is the reflection that you're going to write on your notebook. Please, kapag tapos na kayo class, kunan agad ng picture, focus on what you're doing para makapaggawa pa kayo ng other activities ninyo na gusto nyong gawin. If you want to play or to have like video games or whatsoever, tapusin nyo agad kasi kaya naman talaga siyang tapusin within an hour. Yung pagsusulat ng paragraph or ng outline or answering the exercises, it's not hard actually for you. Okay? Kasi nga sobrang kaunti na nga yung binibigay kong activities. And don't forget the reflection. Okay? Any other question? None so far. Is it clear? Now, take note class. Soon, you are going to write your own na. And you are going to pick what kind of purpose you're going to use. It's either to persuade, to entertain, problem solution, to inform, pwede rin yun. Okay? And other purpose na may pag-aaralan natin. Kaya kailangan i-bear nyo sa mind nyo yung different purpose ng writer sa pagsusulat ng text. Kasi you yourselves will write your own text type or your own paragraph. Trying to convince someone, trying to inform someone, trying to give problem solution, or trying to entertain. It's up to you to choose sa ating final output after this discussion. Okay? So that's it for today. Later, we're going to have our science class at 1 p.m. And, ano bang dadalhin? Yeah, we are going to use our science links book. So, paki-prepare yung science book natin for our afternoon class later. And announcement. Di ba sa schedule ko class nakalagay tomorrow, we have math at 8 a.m. Mathematics. Hindi ko pala class naalala na meron pala akong itulay ng morning. So I'm sorry for that. Kasi nga, I thought walang itulay. So meron palang itulay. So pwede pa rin kayong manood kasi mape yun. Kasi hindi naman kayo madalas yata nagmamape. So pwede kayong manood pa rin ng morning ng itulay ng 10 a.m. So, siyempre, class, hindi ako makakapag-lesson prior to that kasi nga, I'm preparing also the technicalities. Kaya, I cannot hold classes in the morning. But, you can actually watch itulay. Baka malay nyo ma-feature na yung picture nyo dun sa ating itulay kasi may-feature ako ng learner of the day. So, try to watch that itulay, 10 a.m. So, i-move natin ngayon yung ating mathematics ng afternoon. Okay, together with the ESP subject. Did you get it? Yun yung lang few of the changes kasi na magkakasabay kasi class. Hindi pwedeng magkasabay siya kasi before ituloy, ang dahil pa namin inaayos na technicalities bago makapagsalang sa actual teaching. Anyway, kaya ako pinili din yung MAPE class kasi nga, I believe kailangan din talaga natin ng MAPE na mapag-aralan ng mas malalim kasi 4 components kasi yun. Music, arts, e-health. So medyo madami siya, kaya kailangang i-tutorial talaga siya. Okay? So that's it for today. If wala nang tanong, see you later. God bless you always. Stay safe and keep smiling despite of the many hardships and problems that we around us. Bye.
Bye po, sir.
I will just,
Thank you po.
God bless.
yes, I will just send the task sa inyo, GC.